What's up, guys? Technology Dude 117 here, and if you guys are not already following me on Twitter, please do not forget to do so. I will be posting the link to my Twitter account down in the description. Now, today I'm coming at you guys with my first impressions of the highly anticipated Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. Now, Metal Gear Rising has been a long time in the making, and it is finally releasing February 19th, and it is being developed by Platinum Games. Now, this game has been one of the most anticipated games for a lot of people for the last few years. The game was announced a while ago. It was announced back in like 2010 or 2011, if I remember correctly. I can't exactly remember, so please correct me. I believe the game was first announced way back in like 2010, and ever since then, people have just been dying to get their hands on, the finished product. Now, going into the demo, I was extremely excited. I've always been a huge fan of the Metal Gear Solid series. Now, this is just a Metal Gear game, so let's keep that in mind, as I'm going on with these impressions. Now, I've always been a huge fan of the Metal Gear Solid games. Those games are fantastic. They are spectacular. They are some of the best games, if not the best games of all time. They're just great. The Metal Gear Solid games are great. So, I was very excited for Metal Gear Rising. Since they first announced it, I have been waiting to, finally get my hands on the game, just like everybody else. And finally, the demo is here. I was very excited to play this demo. Now, after I played the demo, I kind of came out with mixed feelings about the game. I'm not even going to lie. I came out with, mixed feelings towards the game. Playing it, there was a lot of things I enjoyed, but there was also an equal amount of things that I did not enjoy about the demo. Now, before we get started, let's just talk about, when the game takes place and who the game follows. Now, the game takes place right after the events of Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots. So if you guys are wondering what happens after that game, then this is pretty much the way to find out. Now, the game does not follow Snake. It actually follows Raiden. Raiden is pretty much a mercenary guy. He was actually in Metal Gear Solid 4, and Raiden is pretty much this mercenary guy. He's like this contractor, and in the demo, he's heading to this country that has been occupied by an enemy force. So Raiden has pretty much been paid to, go there and liberate this city or country or whatever it is, and he goes there to liberate it. Now, graphically, I'm going to just jump to the graphics now. Graphically, the game was extremely hit and miss. And I'm trying to keep in mind that this is just a demo, that when the final game does release, that it will be a lot better, but you don't know. Now, Platinum Games in the past has, disappointed a lot of people. With Bayonetta, for instance, the Xbox 360 port was far superior to the PlayStation 3 port. I mean, it was almost like they got lazy halfway through the development process, and they were just like, you know what, F it, the PS3 gamers will suffer. And I really don't want them to do that with Metal Gear Rising. Now, like I said, graphically, the game was very hit and miss. You had these cutscenes that looked spectacular. They looked incredible, the cutscenes. They were some of the best cutscenes I've seen in a game recently, and they were absolutely spectacular. Character models were spectacular. Raiden looked fantastic. His armor looked fantastic. Everything about him looked fantastic. Even the enemies looked fantastic. Now, environmentally, the game did not look that great. The environment was sort of muddled, and the textures were almost sort of blurred, and nothing was really textured that well. Now, like I said, I'm trying to keep in mind that this was just a demo, but if that's in the final game, that's going to be quite disappointing, considering the caliber of the Metal Gear Solid 4 graphics. Nobody wants a Metal Gear game that can't live up to that. But like I said, graphically, Raiden looked fantastic. All the character models looked fantastic, even for the enemies. The cutscenes were superb, and everything just looked really, really good. And the environments were just like, wow, these really aren't that great. And this is only one environment from the entire game, which I'm sure is very, long. But I just had to get that out there. The graphics were very, hit and miss for me. Now, let's talk about the audio of the game. The audio of the game's audio is good. The sword sounds good, everything sounds good. But I did notice a couple lip syncing problems when characters were talking and that kind of stuff. And the script was a little cheesy, I'm not going to lie. But the voice acting overall was great. I enjoyed that. Now, gameplay-wise, here is the real star of the show with Metal Gear Rising, the gameplay. It is fantastic. It is, pure action. This is some of the best gameplay. This is some of the best action gameplay that I've seen in a while. Everything's just so fluid, so fast, and Platinum Games has really, hit the nail on the head as far as animations are concerned for the, fights and action sequences. The animations are spot on. I love the blade mode. It's when you can slow down and, slowly, do precision cuts on your enemies. It's very cool, very satisfying. I mean, even when you do blade mode, you could go insane, which pretty much in this whole gameplay I'm doing, I'm just slashing and slashing and slashing, and all the enemies are just getting cut into a million pieces. It's really cool, the blade mode, and the combat is spectacular, and that is one of the high points of the game. The combat, I'm gonna be talking about the combat for a while. It is fantastic, like I said, animation-wise, spectacular. Everything was spectacular. The controls, really meshed well. They really felt good, sorry. And, the combat, you can tell that Platinum Games really spent a lot of time on that, and it's really, really good overall, and I definitely have to say that it is the most enjoyable thing that I've experienced in the game so far. Now, there's like a wide variety of weapons, and Raiden has a wide variety of abilities. I'm sure as you play the game, once the full game comes out, you will be getting a bunch of different swords and secondary weapons and stuff. And I think it's just going to be really cool. Now, like I said, Raiden has a bunch of, abilities. Blade mode, like I said, he also has this sort of augmented reality mode where he can see enemies and see hostages and all that kind of cool stuff. Now, Raiden himself, he looks like a total badass. I mean, his armor is awesome. It's really technically his body, but it just looks awesome, and Platinum Games has done a fantastic job sort of intricating every detail on his armor. Now, I hope they don't, I hope they didn't spend more time, designing Raiden's body than they did the actual game environments, because, Raiden is just one little thing. I know he's the main character of the game, but the environments should have been, more focused on. Now, story-wise, I really wasn't able to tell too much about the story from the demo. I was able to tell that, of course, Raiden's going to go and do some stuff in the game, if that, even made sense. He's going to go around and, I guess, just liberate places. I'm not really sure who the, main enemy is, what the main objective behind this game is, but I'm sure I'll learn it in time. Now, overall, I really came out with mixed feelings. I will most likely be picking this up on February 19th when it releases. Not totally sure. A little up in the air with this one, a little bit, because there was a lot of things I enjoyed and there was a lot of things I didn't enjoy. So I think I'm just going to wait to see, what other people think of the game before I actually pick it up. And this has pretty much been my impressions, guys, for Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. If you guys did enjoy my impressions and you did enjoy my commentary and the video overall, please do not forget to comment, rate, favorite, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends on, of course, Facebook and Twitter. Once again, guys, don't forget to follow me on Twitter, and I hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and take it easy, everybody. I'll see ya.